co-pilot, and the first officer would sit here and he would watch gauges and dials and stuff. I don't think they have this guy anymore. Technology walked away. Over here, ooh, I didn't see this. This is weapons of the Vietnam War. You have, that's the M14, which everybody liked. The M16, which everybody hated initially because it jammed. It was just too soft. It wasn't made right. Wrong ammunition. AK-47, which they're still around. The Mighty 45. That's an RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade, and that is an M79 grenade launcher, better known as a bloop tube, fired a giant grenade. Wonderful weapon. They have different styles for that now. This is the little kid section. This is a mock-up. You can climb there and take your picture, but yeah, Fat Boy's not getting in there. Now, this little section here is about carrier landings. They had to train pilots to take off and land on carrier decks, and that is not the easiest thing to do, especially with the carriers like that picture right there. It's sloping. They bounce up and down, and you can't train them in the Atlantic, you can't train them in the Pacific, and you can't train them in the Caribbean because one U-boat, sink the ship, lose all the pilots, destroy your training program. So they operated carriers, old carriers, and converted carriers in the Great Lakes. And during that time, and just because of the nature of the beast, the technology of the day, the reliability of the aircraft, the weather, and the fact that pilots were rookies, a lot of these aircraft landed up in the water. It's just the nature of the beast. It looks like he got torn in half.
If you're not responsive to the director, if you taxi too fast,
okay, I want you to look at the propeller. Notice the propeller is bent.
The result can be
backwards.
Or an aircraft over the side.
This was the people of World War II. Each color represents a different thing, and I'll show you that here in another section. Fire suit. Okay. Ooh. And he got torn in half. Alrighty. Now, again, they recovered some of these planes that crashed in the Great Lakes due to training accidents, and they restore some of them. And what these guys did, which I thought was awesome, is they recovered an airplane. This is my favorite display in this entire museum. And they left it as is. Look at that. That's how they found it, and that's how they brought it back. Now, remember when I said look at the propeller? Look at his propeller. If the prop is bent backwards, the engine either quit or was at very low speed. If the propeller bends forwards, that means he was under power. That's the difference. Notice, radial engine, awesome. But this is a SBD Dauntless dive bomber. And the only reason I know that is you see those little holes back there, the slot? That is the dive brake. That's what slows them down when they do their near vertical dives. And that's literally the only reason I know what that is. When you come down to land on the deck, the guy's giving you hand gestures. They use his arms, his legs. It means all kinds of things. Notice the colors. At night, they actually were lit up. I could totally cruise chicks in that hat and goggles. Let's see, getting here towards the end. This is modern day aircraft carrier landings. Whoa, what do we got here? And they always have cameras on the deck, even back in the day, to watch aircraft landings, see when you have problems. Fire crew. He's on fire. That's a F4F. That's a Hellcat right there. F6F Hellcat. All right. Again, here's the colors. One guy is safety. I don't know who's who. One's safety. One's fuel. One's munitions. One's ground moving. One's a traffic cop. One's communications. Everybody has a job, and it's based on. They call this guy a lime, and he's a strawberry, and he's a grape. They all had names for him. And that is an F-18 Hornet, like the Blue Angel one. Whee! That's fun. Alright. Okay, let me see if he does it here. He's obviously not flying when he does that. Okay, he tested his controls. Now watch his right hand. See his right hand? He's not flying the aircraft on the catapult. He's actually holding on to that. He's not touching the controls because the aircraft is flying itself. And you can also see that he's not touching the controls. Here he goes. It releases, he grabs the controls. Why did they do that? Because back in the day, when the catapult would pull, the person would be holding the controls and the G-forces would pull the controls back into their stomach, which would make it worse. The aircraft would fly straight up in the air and stall. So that's why he would hold on to that for takeoff, to prove he wasn't touching the controls. And this is the end of the museum. This is the Yankee Air Museum. It is in Belleville, Michigan, a western suburb of Detroit. It's at the Willow Run Airport. These people do a really good job here. They took the time and the money and the energy. And here are some of the people that worked at the plant, the women that worked there. This is the honor roll. And this is Expediting with Lucy. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope I didn't talk your ear off. I hope you learned something. And if you do some traveling, please come out here and check this place out. Expediting with Lucy. I'm out.